Hi, Montevideo School. Thank you for inviting me to join you on your Celebrate the Arts Day. My name is Bill Clarkson, and I'm sitting here at the bottom of San Ramon Creek, a place that truly defined and helped to define the history of San Ramon. Just down the creek a few hundred yards is where the first Spanish explorers discovered the San Ramon Valley. They came down the old Native American trails in 1772, crossed the creek, and wrote in their diaries what a beautiful valley this was, and this was an ideal location for their next mission. Turns out the Native Americans were still a little too hostile to allow them to build out here, and that's why Mission San Jose was built, but this area was still an area that was under the control of Mission San Jose. The mission recruited many of the Native Americans in the area and christened them. One of the Indians was named St. Ramon, or after St. Ramon. His name was Ramon. And right up along the slopes of this creek and on the flat plains of the valley, he had a herd of sheep that he ran around here in the 1820s. Again, his name was Ramon, and this was known as Ramon's Creek. Later on, it got more formalized. It was known as San Ramon Creek. And that's how San Ramon got its name. In the 1830s, this area came under control of Jose Maria Amador, and he was a Spanish soldier who worked out of Mission San Jose. And for his work here in California, they gave him a grant of around 20,000 acres, and he called it Rancho San Ramon. And he built a hacienda just down San Ramon Road a ways, and raised thousands of cattle and sheep in this area until California became a state. In 1850, California became a state, and Jose Maria Amador, who owned this rancho, read the writing on the wall and began to sell off his land to the American settlers. And one of those settlers was named Leo Norris, who came across the plains and settled down around Mission San Jose, where he got to know Amador. And Leo Norris bought 4,500 acres up here, and right there on Norris Canyon Road, he built the first American house in 1850. San Ramon Road was known actually as the Road to the Mission, or the Road to Martinez, back in the 1850s. And where the road crossed the creek right down where In-N-Out Burger is located, is where the village of San Ramon began to be developed. In the 1850s and early 1860s, blacksmith shops and other kinds of hotels and saloons and stables that were catering to the traveling public were constructed and built across these two crossroads, one that came from Hayward and one that came up from San Jose. And travelers back then could only go about 30 miles a day. And so San Ramon became one of the chief cities or little villages that people would travel and stop overnight before they moved on. And it really prospered for a long time until the railroads came. In 1867, after the Civil War was over, the residents of the village and the ranchers around the valley here decided it was time to have a more formalized school. Up to that time, the students were being educated in really ramshackle shacks and inadequate housing. And so they passed a $2,000 school bond and built the very first two-room schoolhouse down in the village of San Ramon, where Morgan's Masonry currently is. And for 83 years, it was the schoolhouse for San Ramon children from K through 8th grade. After 8th grade, if you still wanted to continue school, and not all did, they would go up the road to San Ramon Valley High School. In 1868, the railroad came to the valley. And it was something that the ranchers and farmers loved because it was easy now to take their crops and to take their cattle to the railroad to be shipped virtually all over the country, if not all over the world. But it was not for the village of San Ramon, because up to that point, the traveling public used the hotels and saloons. But once the railroad came to the valley, travelers bypassed San Ramon. And the saloons began to close, they were converted to houses. The stores and shops that depended upon travelers coming through began to go bankrupt and out of business. And the coming of the railroads was great for farmers and ranchers, but it caused the demise of the village of San Ramon. Over the years, during the late 1900s, early 20th century, the village remained. No new construction really occurred. When something burned down or was torn down, it was not replaced. And by 1960, there were only a handful of buildings: the old schoolhouse, the old general store, the old blacksmith, and Connie's, a restaurant that was used in town. But by 1963, all of them were gone too. And after the freeway came through San Ramon, none of the old buildings of the village remained. Today, the village of San Ramon may be gone, the old village. The new village, the new town is arising. But we can still honor and respect all the hard work that our early pioneers and all the things they did to help develop the beautiful community we live in today. Thank you very much.